Jujutsu Kaisen finally wraps up the intense Shinjuku showdown, where some of the strongest sorcerers have faced off against the King of Curses, Ryomen Sukuna. Sukuna had been the greatest threat to humanity, and to take him down was not an easy task. It needed the contribution of each major character within the series, but not all of them were created equal, and only the most powerful major sorcerers really moved and shaped the battle. In this video, we'll be breaking down each of the sorcerers and their contribution to decide who actually deserved the title of MVP. Before we get started, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so you won't miss out on any daily uploads. Now, let's begin. Coming in at number 8, we have Nobara. Sure, she didn't have a major role in this fight, but her contribution was not trivial. Nobara's power to hurt the soul with her resonance allowed Yuji Itadori to survive and land this critical black flash against Sukuna. Even if that was just one attack, it helped to turn the tide of battle since Sukuna couldn't use his domain against Yuji. It might have been one of those short appearances, but it brought the King of Curses to his knees, which is a success in this battle. Next up is Mei Mei's little brother. He is a character that is sometimes underrated in terms of significance with regard to the Shinjuku showdown. Wee Wee never fought Sukuna, yet his job was integral to keeping in play one of the most important players. Following Gojo's death, Wee Wee looked after his body and safety. This allowed for the critical moments that followed. He was able to teleport Yuta, Higuruma, and Kusakabe to safety when they were in danger, allowing them to keep fighting. Most importantly, probably, he allowed Yujo, to return to the battlefield and prevented Sukuna from finishing off Yuji. All this backstage support made all the difference in the outcome of the fight. Next comes Choso. While Choso never really had a direct 1v1 extensive fight with Sukuna, his role was pretty significant for the safety of Yuji in those few instances. Whenever they clashed, Sukuna made it clear that he outclassed Choso by a long shot. But the real worth of Choso was at that very crucial moment, when Sukuna used his deadly divine flames. Expected from Sukuna, this was an all-obliterating attack, and Yuji was just in the way. Choso sacrificed himself, using his blood as a shield for Yuji. He lost his life, but by saving Yuji, made sure Sukuna's rampage would be stopped, saving his little brother in the process. Number 5 is Maki. As soon as Maki joined the battle during the Shinjuku showdown, she straight away plunged into action and stabbed Sukuna in the heart. This interference gave Yuji an exceptional opportunity to tend to his injuries and strike back at Sukuna, and he was able to land a couple of important blows. For her part, Maki took 2 black flash attacks from Sukuna, proving her toughness. Her relentless effort kept Sukuna busy, giving the others a chance to strike. However, as much as she played a big role, some fans had felt that her potential could have been dug deeper on were it given the chance. At number 4, we have Toto, who had a shocking return to the battlefield after Choso's death. Many fans were not expecting his return, and to the surprise of many, he came back much stronger with an even better version of Boogie Woogie. After losing his hand, Toto adapted to such loss when he replaced it with a vibra slap that replaced the hands and allowed him to make up to 50 swaps per second. He took it to the next level with a binding vow, giving up a smaller number of exchanges for an immensely greater range. This made Toto nearly unbeatable, to the point that even Sukuna himself had to admit that there was little he could actually do against him. Thanks to Toto's fast action, sorcerers like Maki, Ino, and Muwa were able to survive Sukuna's flames. He also played a very significant role in the activation of Yuji's black flashes and afforded Angel with the opportunity to begin her Jacob's ladder from above. He made openings for Yuji to land the dismantle punches on Sukuna, which weakened the barriers of Sukuna and Fushiguro's souls. His return of Toto was something quite unexpected yet really important, because it kept the battle going and managed to help the remaining sorcerers get a fighting chance against the King of Curses. Coming in at number 3 on our list is Yuji. Yuji played a crucial role in the battle against Sukuna, and without his relentless efforts, the sorcerers would have likely stood no chance. His soul-damaging punches were instrumental in wearing Sukuna down. Combining these with powerful techniques like dismantle, Yuji was able to push Sukuna to the brink. He even managed to open his domain, dealing serious damage to the King of Curses inside it. Yuji's resilience was on full display throughout the fight. Even after suffering personal losses, including the death of his brother at Sukuna's hands, he never stopped. He kept fighting, learning, and adapting. Not only did he master the reverse curse technique, but he also continued to push Sukuna to his limits until the final blow was dealt. While Yuji certainly deserves recognition as one of the top performers in this battle, and some may argue he could be the MVP, others outshined him in key moments. If Gojo hadn't been the main focus of the conflict, Yuji would undoubtedly take the top spot. But even at number 3, Yuji's contributions were undeniably critical in the defeat of Sukuna. Next up is Yuta, who was without a doubt one of the key players in the fight against Sukuna, and this was something everyone saw coming. Early on, Yuta took out Kenjaku, removing his insurance and setting the stage for the final battle. Once on the battlefield, Yuta showcased his domain expansion against Sukuna, stepping up in every way possible. One of Yuta's standout moments was how many times he saved Yuji. There was a critical scene where Sukuna was about to use cleave on Yuji, but Yuta stepped in, delivering an uppercut to Sukuna and preventing Yuji's death. Without Yuta, Yuji would have been finished several times during the fight. On top of that, Yuta weakened Sukuna significantly by hitting him with multiple Jacob's ladders, which played a huge role in bringing Sukuna down. Inside the domain, Yuta's plan was to get Yuji to encourage Fushiguro to fight back against Sukuna. The plan was flawless, but unfortunately, Fushiguro couldn't follow through, leading to its failure. Despite this, Yuta still created an opening for Maki to strike Sukuna and stab his heart, even though Yuta himself was severely injured by Sukuna's world-splitting dismantle. What's even more impressive is that after being cut down, Yuta returned, this time with Gojo's body, and saved Yuji and Toto when Sukuna was about to open his domain. Yuta countered by opening his own domain, Unlimited Void, inside Sukuna's, giving them another chance to fight back. Even though Yuta wasn't fully used to either the technique or Gojo's body, he was still able to attack Sukuna with Hollow Purple, showcasing his incredible ability to adapt under pressure. Yuta was the one who came up with most of the plans during the final stages of the battle. He orchestrated Angel's use of Jacob's ladder, ensuring both Hana and Angel wouldn't die in the process. He even came up with the plan to use Kenjaku's technique to take control of Gojo's body, something that many thought was inhumane, but Yuta went through with it anyway because it was necessary to fight Sukuna. After Gojo's defeat, Yuta picked up the slack, fighting Sukuna twice and weakening him further, giving Yuji the opportunities he needed to finish the fight. For everything Yuta did, he more than deserves to be seen as the strongest modern sorcerer behind Gojo. Next up is Gojo Satoru, the strongest sorcerer of the modern era. Gojo was undoubtedly the most significant force in the fight against Sukuna. He faced an incredibly powerful version of Sukuna, who wasn't just using one, but 2 innate techniques, the 10 Shadows technique and Malevolent Shrine. Even with Sukuna having this overwhelming advantage, Gojo managed to hold him back and weaken him substantially. One of Gojo's key moves was stripping Sukuna of the 10 Shadows technique by destroying Mahoraga, a crucial element of Sukuna's arsenal. In addition, Gojo used Unlimited Void to attack Sukuna's brain, effectively disabling his domain and reverse cursed technique. This left Sukuna without the ability to regenerate his technique, putting him at a massive disadvantage. Gojo's efforts were critical in the overall battle. Without him, it's safe to say the fight would have ended much sooner with Sukuna victorious. In fact, if Mahoraga hadn't been involved, Gojo likely would have defeated Sukuna on his own. Gojo's contribution wasn't just pivotal, it was the reason the other sorcerers had any chance at all. When looking at the MVP of the battle against Sukuna, the obvious choice for many is Gojo Satoru. He weakened Sukuna and took out the Divine General, making it possible for everyone else to even stand a chance. But after Gojo's death, the one who truly stepped up was Yuta. He was the one who made the plans that set the stage for Sukuna's defeat. While Yuji ultimately delivered the final blow, none of that could have happened without Yuta. His strategies, like orchestrating Angel's Jacob's ladder and stepping in to protect Yuji multiple times from Sukuna, were pivotal. Even when Yuta was severely injured, he still found a way to get back in Gojo's open his own domain expansion to counter Sukuna's and save Yuji and Toto. More importantly, we cannot take away the credit from Mei Mei's little brother, who made sure to keep some of the essential players such as Yuta, Gojo, and Yuji within the fight. While Gojo did most of the heavy lifting early on, it was Yuta's brilliance that brought it home after Gojo was gone. That's why, in my opinion, Yuta is the real MVP of this battle. Anyway, please tell me your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any daily uploads.